Well, good afternoon, West Ham fans. Russ of the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. It's Monday. It's 6 o'clock, so it's time for the Academy Show. Yes, everybody, happy Monday. I should make a band name after that. The Academy Show. For anyone new to the channel, what we do on a Monday, 6 o'clock UK time, is we do a show just dedicated to the Academy, the only YouTube channel that's out there, because we think it's really important. Academy is a massive part of what is West Ham. And I always think there's a slight lack of knowledge. Is that the right expression? Maybe a lack of understanding in terms of the players sort of developing, the players coming through. Obviously, now there'll be more emphasis, I think, on the academy with the likes of Graham Potter involved. And we know we can talk about that in terms of his playing, in terms of his coaching staff being in attendance at games and stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And so what we tend to do is talk any sort of contract news. No real contract news. Contract news is this week. We spoke about last week about Lorne Owusu and Ray and Oyebeda both signed sort of pro deals last week. So there's no new contract news. But then we talk about the players out on loan, the academy players. The first thing, players out on loan, we speak about Hammer's headlines a little bit earlier on today. And then we do a bit of a roundup of the games that have happened for the 18s and 21s and any other sort of significant news affecting the academy at the end. It's quite simple, just like me. Right, let's talk about the players out on loan. It was a man of the match performance from George Earthy as he played the full 90 minutes as Bristol City won 2-1 at home at Watford. He, as I said, got man of the match, and he was, well, pretty bloody good. A great game from George. And what's really interesting about Bristol, and particularly next season, because I think we forget about George, potentially coming back in the summer. Bristol play a 3-4-2-1, and George played on the left-hand side of the two. Hashtag just saying, particularly with the likes of potentially, Kudus maybe moving on and things like that. Yeah, we might have a ready-made replacement there in George. Elsewhere, Callum was a 61st minute sub as Huddersfield won 2-1 at home to Mansfield Town in League One. Gideon Kidoa, he was a 67th minute substitute as Wickham lost 1-0 away to Reading. PK, as we know, his dad owns a pub in the same village as Steve Lomas. If you didn't see the interview, go and see our interview with Steve Lomas last week. He started, played the first hour, first 59 minutes. Doncaster won 2-0 away to Cheltenham Town. Who else? Louisa didn't feature in the matchday squad as Pogan Skventon won 4-0 at home to GKS Katowice. I'm sure we all pronounce that right. Mohamedou Kante, he was an 83rd minute substitute for Paris FC as they won 2-0 at home to Clermont Foot in Ligue 2. Kante has featured in the last 3 Ligue 2 games for Paris FC. And as I said, we've been crying out for an athletic, energetic, man-mountain central midfielder. No, I can never do it this way. Why can't I do that? Anyway, he's the man. There we go. He could be our man. Honestly, he's fucking massive. He is a man mountain. Elsewhere, Regan Clayton was an unused substitute for Dagenham Redbridge as they lost 2-1 away to Gateshead. Brad didn't feature for Aldershot in their the FA Trophy semi-final victory against Woking. They won 2-1. No involvement for Junior Robinson at the weekend for Sutton United. Mason Terry, he gets a clean sheet as AFC Hornchurch drew 0-0 away to Welling United in National League South. And Christian Heggie is still suffering from an injury, which made him pull out of the Hungarian international training camp last week. and he's still suffering from that, and was signed on with injury. But his side, the Brecon, won 4-1 at home to Diorgosvor. That is definitely how you pronounce it. Congratulations to the West Ham under-13 side. They won the Premier League International Tournament, beating Man City in the semis and AZ Alkmaar, the Alphabet FC, in the final. I think they also beat Inter Milan on the Friday, I think it was as well. So congratulations to them. And again, shows, I know we concentrate just on sort of the 18s and 21s, but, we've got a bit of talent all the way through the academy. And, a fantastic achievement, getting that victory. Particularly also, we could be winning some more silverware at the end of April. We'll talk about that in a bit. So let's get on to games that happened over the weekend. Well, on Friday night, West Ham. Men v boys, I think, to be honest. That's the way I describe it. A tough evening. Pardon me for the under-21s, who despite, leading for most of the game, lost 5-2 in the most West Ham way possible in our final home fixture of the Premier League regular season, Premier League 2 regular season. We led twice through Lewis Orford, but a ruthless late spell of goals saw the visitors turn them over. It was a 2-1 deficit and extend their extended unbeaten run in the PLT to 7 games. Crystal Palace are a good side. Despite the result, we might remain third in the Premier League 2 table heading into the final round of fixtures. We, with Chelsea just 2 points behind us, we need a positive result away to Middlesbrough to hold on to our top 3 seeding ahead of the playoffs. And then it goes into the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens there. My review of the game was it was the first 20 minutes or so. I mean, for me, really, I thought from Crystal Palace's side, they had 3 big blokes up front, athletic. Their right back was very strong as well. The under 21 Crystal Palace side, coached by former West Ham loanee Darren Powell. And in attendance was Mark Noble, because he was sat next to me, and Billy Reid, the West Ham assistant head coach, or whatever his job title is. Both were in attendance and saw a West Ham side, somewhat of a scratch side in some respects. We've obviously so many players out on loan. It's starting to sort of wane a little bit. Louis Brown, I think that's probably his first home start. The under 21s, Kenny's boy, played all right. They had, Orford was awful. I think wasn't very good at all for the first 20 minutes. Then scored, and then was the best player in the park. And his first goal was great, and his second goal in the second half was a great move, which was finished really nicely by Lewis. Some good performances. Sean Moore played well, tenacious. Preston was in and out of the game, but when he did have the ball on him, he was, I think he's a cracking player. He's got really good vision. And so it was a great opportunity for some of them to show what they could do in front of Billy and in front of Mark as well. But yeah, I just think Crystal Palace's just their mass, their physicality was too much. Some of them are like, Preston, bless him, he's a skinny little one. And these guys, there was a guy, I remember his name because I had to pronounce it because he scored a couple of times. Adamola Ola Adabomi was just like a muscle, a human muscle. He was just huge. But look, it's been an okay season for them. We've obviously had a spell where we won, is it 7 on the bounce, something like that? And that made a big difference in our Premier League too. Having lost something like 7 in a row beforehand. So there was a positive end to the season. Obviously, then it gets into the playoffs, and the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything can happen. In terms of the under-18s, they got back to winning ways with a 1-0 victory, a tightly contested 1-0 victory against Norwich at Little Heath. Josh Landers scored again, 6th goal since arriving in January. I thought it was 7 actually, but no. Reports to 6. Proved decisive in a very closely contested affair. The 18's goalkeeper, Finn Hooper, also played a crucial role, really, in preserving the lead, thanks to a fantastic penalty save. The breakthrough came finally about 68 minutes, and came from a defensive lap in concentration from Norwich, and it was a goalkeeper pass, and it was under hit. Balogun, who we signed from Man United, he got the ball, played it to Landers, and made a mistake here the second time out, slotting home with his weaker foot to put the Hammers in front. As I said, strong save from Hooper for a Norwich penalty. And what was also impressive, because, I mean, in terms of who played, Rayan, Oyebade, Edges Golombekis, and Josh Landers, all of them played minutes on the day before in the under-21 game. And they all started the game for the under-18. So it's really impressive, in terms of fitness and stuff for those guys. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Also, they go into the season. As I said, we could end up with some more silverware as under the under-13s international tournament. We are in through to the final of the under-18s Premier League Cup, and the date has finally been announced. It will be played on the 22nd. Where is it? I had it. It will be played on the 22nd, June 22nd, 7 p.m. at the Select Car Leasing Stadium, the former Majestic Stadium. We play Reading, so it's their home ground. Tickets are available via the Reading website. I've seen them available. Advanced prices for adults £4. I think then goes to £3 and £2 or £1 for under 13s and things like that. Concessions and kids being less, obviously. Match, you can buy tickets on the door, £6 for adults, it says on the website. And again, I think it's like £2-3 for concessions as well. So yes, should be a really interesting game. Reading a good side as well. Reading knocked out some really good teams as well, as I think they knocked out Liverpool in the semis. It's Liverpool. Well, they definitely knocked out Liverpool so far. Obviously, we knocked out Man United, who hadn't lost for something like, well, that was on penalties, but they haven't been beaten for a long, long, long time. So it's going to be a cracking game, and I'd imagine what will happen is a bit similar to the other games. The likes of Ezra Mayers and the 18s who are playing the 21s, like Josh Ajala and stuff like that, they'll be moved down, so to speak, for the final. For the best chance of us winning, in all honesty. And that's it, my friends. Thank you very, very much for your time. As per usual, don't forget to check out all the great content we've got coming up. Obviously, we play Liverpool at the weekend. What could possibly go wrong? Liverpool, who had just lost to Fulham at the weekend, a wounded Liverpool side. What could possibly go wrong? But anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Also, in the comments, if there's anyone you want us to talk about a little bit more, any of the players, because we sort of mention them all the time. But if anyone want to go, I'd really like to talk about let me know, and we can get them on there. But anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and I'll see you guys very shortly. Much love. Bye bye. See ya.